actually talking so much in favor, particularly in the present day scenario, that many people think that Shrikanta Datta himself doesn't have such a good PR. So somebody needed to build a good, PR.
If you're writing about a particular topic, it need not always necessarily be that you're writing in favor of it. I may have analyzed it with a dispassionate look because I'm not a royalist. I don't have agendas or biases to follow. It's not a royal family commissioned project. It's a completely self-driven.
But when you write about the Queen having sold her jewels to fund the seed capital that was required by a project, aren't you actually trying to talk about something that you have no proof of?
There are proofs for everything that I've stated. I can
what
claim.
Proof do you have for that?
These are from some of the documents of the time of the royal family. Now we can always discount whether these were manipulated or manufactured. But those are the perils of documentation of any sort of history.
You had what do you say, the support of the royal family, let's take it that way. But still, when you're talking about Alamelama's curse, you are not what do you say, subscribing to the opinion or the belief of even the royal family, because you must have heard Shrikanta Datta himself about 2 years ago saying that the curse is wearing off and he's feeling more comfortable about it now. So aren't you, if at all you're actually going by the facts, even depending it on authentic sources, you're actually putting in your own theory somewhere in between, and in some places you're calling it authentic, coming from sources that are
history to me is both an art and a science. So these aspects that you're talking about,
more liberty with the art rather than the science.
These things of curses and myths they come under the art category. And when I talk of authenticity, it is more to do with the science of documenting history, collecting information. But I don't subscribe to the views of the curse and so on. But as I said, these are part of public belief. People so strongly believe in them, including members of the royal family. But since I'm not a spokesperson of the royal family, I need not have to subscribe to everything that they believe in.
But do you actually think that these myths and curses and all these legends were part of the very scheme of things in Mysore to ensure that the state was run properly? So when you're chronicling it, you need to be careful in even incorporating those things as facts in the book, because they were part of the existence, they were part of the system.
That's precisely the reason why I've stated these stories.
And then looking at it as just as an imaginary part of the whole story.
I've been very careful in that portrayal where I've said it is my interpretation. To me, history is the interpretation of the person who writes it. There is nothing which is, what people did in the past was never preserved in amber and it's not immutable. Every generation, I think, looks back in the past and sees, interprets it in its own way and tries to illuminate both the present and the future. That's
what kind of criticism has come your way after writing this book, or once the book was published? Particularly something that you were to take note of.
Yes, a lot of people have dubbed me as a royalist. As they just assume.
Most people also thought that maybe this book was commissioned by the royal family.
Exactly, because I have the Princess Meenakshi Devi writing a foreword as well, along with Dr. Suryanath Kamath and Mr. Kumaraswamy, the former Chief Minister. But it is not that. I would only wish people actually read the book and see that.
It is very expensive. It is 1,500 rupees.
Yeah, it's
so you cannot expect everybody to buy it till it hits the libraries, perhaps.
It will do that as well. We probably will also have a paperback version soon, but it deserves that amount of money because it has about 200 very rare photographs which are never published and never seen by people. So I think it's a collector's item, and when people can spend on The Last Mughal, which was one of the best-selling historical novels.
Anything about this book after writing it that you felt that you could have changed or you could have rewritten, or something that you actually didn't want, maybe you could have avoided?
No, since the time period was so long, there's been so many versions, so many changes that this is for now I think the best that I could do.
Who worked with you to make this book a possibility?
There was no professional. There was nobody in my family is actually historically trained. But the support that I got from my parents and also my grandmother, who's extremely good at Kannada. So most of the Hale Kannada manuscripts and things like that, these were the ones which she would translate for me and tell me as a story, and it was almost an ajji kathe which slowly broadened itself into something that I would try to put my perspective in.
From the age of 12 till now, even passing your 10th to writing your PU exam to writing CET to studying engineering in BITS Pilani to doing a course in finance to getting into a job in Citibank to doing all these things and still finding time for this book.
And you forgot the music angle. I'm also a student of Carnatic music, but for things you're passionate about, I think this you don't find time, you manage to make time.
How would you plan your time? How did you actually write this? On a daily basis?
Yes,
or?
it was, the city never sleeps, it usually never allows its employees to either. That's the tagline of Citibank. So after a